During the holidays in Mexico, all the women and families get together to have these cooking parties called tamaladas. Basically, they're there to make tamales. Tamales are a very traditional dish of Mexico dating back even to the Aztecs. They're pretty much made out of masa, which is corn dough, with then different ingredients stuffed into them. There's many different ways that you can make them, but today I'm showing you a recipe that's not gonna require all the women in your family. We're making green chile tamales. So what I've done is I've actually used some corn husks, put them in the water to soak. Corn husks, all that they are is the green stuff that you take out of corn, except they're dry. In Mexico, my family would just dry them and then we would use them, but here in the US, they're really easy to find in any grocery store. The other thing that I've also started is my salsa. Tamales verdes are basically made out of this green salsa from tomatillos. Tomatillos are from the same family as tomatoes, except they're green and they're really tart. Now, the ones I'm using are wild tomatillos or tomatillos de milpa. But these are not as easy to find. If you find them, use them because they have such a great flavor. But if not, you can find the ones that are bigger in the store, and those are easy to work with as well. My tomatillos and my jalapeños have been boiling. Now they're ready to be blended. So we're gonna throw all of them in here. You don't want a lot of the liquid. Just gonna throw everything in. Alright, perfect. Now we're going to put in some salt. Just about a teaspoon of salt. And garlic. Now let's blend this. So all you want to do is blend it for about 1 minute. Really spicy. Okay, so then you're going to take this, put it in some oil, and just saute it a little bit. So now what you want to do is throw about 2 tablespoons of corn oil into your saucepan. And automatically throw in your sauce. You don't want your oil to get hot. And then you're going to stir and stir and stir until all of the oil is completely blended into the sauce. It's important that you cook the sauce with the oil because otherwise your tamales would taste bitter. When these bubbles start going,
your sauce is pretty much ready. You just gotta continue stirring for about another minute. And keep stirring, otherwise everything's gonna splatter everywhere. So now that everything else is almost done, we're gonna make the masa. So we're gonna use 2 cups of Masa Harina. Now Masa Harina, all it is, it's made out of corn, so it's like a corn flour. Perfect. Now we're gonna put in my special spices, which is just a combination of some garlic salt, some onion powder, oregano, black pepper, and some cumin. We're gonna mix it all in. Then 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Great. Mix that in. And now we're gonna add some corn oil, 1/4 cup of corn oil. Mix that in. And lastly, we're gonna add 2.5 cups of water. It's gonna get really dirty, but that's okay. You're just gonna keep mixing it. It's gonna get thicker and thicker. So you're gonna stir this with your hand for about 2 minutes until you get this really nice consistency. And it's gonna feel kind of fluffy and kind of mushy, but that's okay because it's gonna dry up a little bit and it's gonna be really smooth when you put it on the corn husk. See? That's about the consistency that you want, really mushy. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna roast these beautiful poblano peppers. What you wanna do is you wanna roast them on all sides until they're completely blackened. You're gonna hear these beautiful sounds of them popping, and that's perfectly okay. It just means that all the flavors are coming out. Now I'm using my hands because I'm comfortable doing this, but I do recommend that you use some tongs at home. You don't have to do it over the flame. I just prefer the flavor that it gives it, but you can always throw these in the broiler, in your oven, or you can do them on top of a skillet, or however you want, as long as you get them roasted. You're gonna flip them, see, until you get that beautiful color. So now that this poblano pepper has been roasting and it's completely blackened, you can turn on the flame. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get this steamed. Now I still have one of my peppers roasting over there. In the meantime, I'm gonna take this one, I'm gonna put it in a bag, and I'm gonna close it up. The reason we're doing this is because the steam is gonna allow for the skin to be able to be removed a lot easier later. Now you don't have to use a bag. You can put this in any container and close it up as long as the steam's able to come out so that we can remove the skin. And you wanna leave them there for about like 2-3 minutes. So now that the chiles have been steaming, we're gonna take them out and we're gonna clean them up. So I'm gonna show you how. What you have to do is pretty much just roll your fingers and see how easy that is to remove all the skin. And all the beautiful color of the poblano is still underneath. And they're completely cooked. So just remove everything. If they start opening up like that, it's perfectly fine. You're gonna chop them up anyway. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open them up. So really easily they start opening by themselves. And what you wanna do is take out all of these seeds. Just remove everything. Remove the top. Now, do you see these veins here? That's where all of the spiciness is gonna be. So if you don't want the heat, you can go ahead and remove them. That way you're still gonna have the flavor of the poblano, but not a lot of heat. Before we can start making the tamales, we're gonna shred our cheese that we're using today. We're using queso Oaxaca. In the store, you're gonna find it in this round ball, but then you're gonna be able to undo it, and it gets undone like that. So you're just gonna take it, and it doesn't really matter how you undo it. You're just gonna shred it because then you're going to be using it in your tamales. So we're going to use about 2 cups of this. Now this queso, if you can't find it, you can always substitute it for mozzarella cheese, which is perfectly fine. But it has a really beautiful flavor. So if you can find it, it's going to be delicious. So now we're ready to make the tamales. What we're going to do is we're going to grab one of these corn husks. We're going to put in some of this corn dough. And it can be messy, it doesn't have to be perfect. I like using a butter knife just because you can roll it and spread it really nice. Like that. And then we're going to put in some of those beautiful rajas that we made earlier. You can put in as many as you want. I'm just putting like small 3 pieces of it. Some of this queso Oaxaca. It's going to be so yummy. And then, lastly, our salsa verde. Very easily, you're going to flip one side, then you're going to tuck in and flip the other. Stuff might come out and it's perfectly fine because I have a trick for you. And you're going to fold the bottom down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use parchment paper to wrap it around. You put your parchment paper down and then you're just going to roll it and flip it. Tuck it in. Tuck it in, flip again, and just keep rolling until it's all tucked in. And see how easy that is? So all you need for this is a regular vegetable steamer. I already have some tamales in here, and I'm just putting in some of the other ones we just made. Once you put them in here, you can't leave your house. Now, I don't know if that's really true, but there's a big Mexican myth that if you leave your house when you're steaming these, they're gonna get some really weird brown spots. Again, I don't know if it's true, but I never leave my house. So that's it, guys. The tamales are done. Now, what you can do is you can eat them with a little bit of pico de gallo, put in a little bit of lime, maybe some crema, whatever you want. They're gonna be delicious. So go ahead and make them and take them to your next holiday party. Thank you for joining me again.